You know what's funny, folks? I was watching a video, if you will. Well, not watching a video, but I was reading one of the comments on a video. Let me move that for a second. I was reading one of the comments on a video, and this was off somebody. I'm not going to mention their name because I don't want to get them in trouble or anything. Or their channel's name, anyway. But they were displaying, or kind of sharing, or acknowledging, I should say. They were acknowledging, if you will, an event called Legends of the Arena, which took place about 2 years ago. Now, this is the first time I've ever heard of it, honestly, because I'd never heard of Legends of the Arena. But when I watched it, and I saw, as I watched it, because there are some clips here and there, I started knowing what it meant by Legends of the Arena, as in the ECW Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, now known as the Asylum Arena. And I watched that with intrigue. And I looked at some of the comments, and one person asked, why are there so many ECW reunion shows, or something like that? Well, I think I can answer that very, very easily. The reason there's a lot of ECW reunion shows out there, or at least every now and then there are ECW reunion shows, is because back in the 90s, ECW did something for professional wrestling that no other company has ever done before. It lit a fire under everybody's ass. Basically, ECW said, hey, you can be a wrestling company, but you don't always have to follow rules. In other words, if you want to get hardcore, get hardcore. If you want to be straight shooting wrestling, be straight shooting wrestling. And that's what they were. I mean, let's put it this way. Let me put it this way. ECW started, as everybody knows, as Eastern Championship Wrestling, a territorial-based promotion, indie promotion of the NWA. Now, apparently, they didn't want to have to. Now, apparently, Paul Heyman and Todd Gordon, and Shane Douglas and whoever else the hell was in charge, didn't want to follow in that format. They didn't want to follow being the same as everybody else. Because if they would have stuck with that format, ECW wouldn't have lasted not even maybe a few years, maybe a year or so, and it would have been gone. But the thing is what happened is, everybody knows, Paul Heyman and Todd Gordon, they saw something in an Eastern Championship Wrestling that they knew can make them different. And what they saw was there were matches that they were having which were never really seen that much on television when it came to the WWE, or WWF at the time, or WCW. They never really saw anything like that. Heck, they didn't even see it in some of the short-lived promotions like the GWF or the USWA. Okay, USWA did last a lot longer than GWF, but you get what I'm saying. They didn't even see it in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Okay? So you think to yourself, they don't see it in any one of these promotions, and yet they have an opportunity to be different. And when Paul Heyman booked that one match at Ultra Clash, he knew what he was doing. And then, as everybody knows, Heyman, Douglas, and I guess Todd Gordon all saw an opportunity with the NWA tournament, and thus decided that whoever we have win the championship, whoever they decide is going to be the champion, we're going to have that person do what many feel they'd be afraid to do. And when they chose Shane Douglas, I guess, to be the champion, they knew they had a winner. Because apparently Shane Douglas, even before then, as you can see in some of his rare videos, is somebody that's very outspoken, will speak their minds, and don't care if they get in trouble. And that's what he did on that night. He won the tournament, but instead of saying, hey, I accept this and I'm going to walk off and be a great NWA champion, he said, fuck this, threw it down, got the, at time, Eastern Championship Wrestling belt, and said, Eastern Championship Wrestling's heavyweight title is now the ECW World Heavyweight title. In other words, the Extreme World Heavyweight title. Because again, Todd Gordon, Paul Heyman, and I guess with help from Shane Douglas, saw something in ECW that made him go, you know what? This company could be very different. And you got to realize at the time, in the early 90s, going into the mid 90s, a lot of wrestling fans wanted something different. They were getting sick and tired of the same old cliche. Alright? They were getting sick and tired of always looking at cartoony-like atmosphere. They wanted something different. And that's what ECW gave them. And that's why, in a sense, you see a lot, well, not a lot, but every now and then, you see an ECW reunion show. Heck, that's why they had a reunion show, not even, what? 5 months after it went out of business in 2001. That's why you saw a reunion show on the weekend of WWE's ECW Reunion Show, One Night Stand. That's why you saw a reunion show called Hardcore Homecoming. That's why you saw Hardcore Homecoming November Rain later that year. That's why you saw another One Night Stand, which kind of, in the WWE's and Vince McMahon's mind, reignited ECW and brought it back to the forefront. You know, that's why you saw that. That's why you saw TNA give those ECW alumni the spotlight last year with Hardcore Justice. That's why you see on the independent circuit, like with Legends of the Arena, why people do this. It's because fans want to relive that nostalgic feel of having something different. Because right now, what they're looking at is almost deja vu. What they're looking at is almost deja vu. I mean, there are many fans that appreciate Ring of Honor, because it's no nonsense gimmick. It's a no nonsense, no gimmick like organization. It's all about wrestling, and they let the story be told in the ring through the wrestling. And, you know, TNA, Impact Wrestling, they're looking at that and they're saying, you know what we're looking at? We're looking at WCW Part 2, or WCW Reduxed, or whatever you want to call it. And they don't like it. I mean, yeah, TNA is going to sometimes give them a little hardcore and be a little bit different at times, but sometimes a violent match, you know. I mean, I'll give TNA credit. They did things that WWE didn't do. You know, they had women competing in more hardcore matches than WWE did. They had women going through barbed wire and thumbtacks. Alright? But the thing is, folks, it's not just because they do that on rare occasions. It's because fans, again, are seeing WCW Redux, and they don't want to see that. What they want is something different. They look at the WWE, and they're saying, oh man, we're going through another, you know, another 80s, 90s transition deal. But now, WWE may be getting out of that situation very soon, but we don't know when. But until that time, you know, you're always going to bound to see these ECW reunion shows. I mean, why do you think fans enjoy a company like CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling? It's because that's as close as you're going to get to an ECW-like promotion. It's different. It's different because it gives them a different vibe. It gives them something different to enjoy. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fans of CZW, Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate, Evolve and all that, that are disappointed that guys like John Moxley and whoever else, Kings of Wrestling maybe, eventually, who knows, are going up north to work for WWE in the future. Yeah, they're disappointed by that, but you know what? They know that even though they may be gone, it makes room for more people. Why do you think CZW every year has a tournament of a deathmatch tournament? It's because fans want to see that. And CZW, again, is the closest fans are going to get to an ECW-like promotion. I mean, WXW, Women's Extreme Wrestling, is the closest they're going to get to a women's ECW-like promotion. I mean, JCW, Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Their events sometimes, most of their matches at times at the Gathering of the Juggalos, Bloody Mania events, are a combination of everything ECW was at times. Same as CZW. But again, it's because of these promotions and these events that fans always like to have these legends of the arena or these hardcore homecoming or ECW style like reunions. Because it's what they grew up on. And it gives them closure to certain rivalries. Alright? It gives them closure. I mean, one of the matches that Hardcore Justice 2010 had was Raven and Tommy Dreamer. And that was closure, I guess you could say. It's all about giving fans one more night of nostalgia and bringing closure. And giving them the matches that they can't get. I mean, Hardcore Justice, Hardcore Homecoming, One Night Stand, you know, they gave them matches they wanted to see, but they didn't give them matches that they felt they really wanted to see. They didn't give them the matches they felt would be good to finally give them closure. And that's why you see these independent like ECW reunions, because they give them that. So, even though Legends of the Arena, you know, was 2 years ago, I will say this. You're going to see a lot more of those. You probably already have throughout 2010. You probably already have in 2011. And probably more to come. But I guarantee you this. It's never going to end. It's never going to end until an ECW-like promotion or ECW itself in some way or fashion is resurrected and fans get back what they've always had. Or they always wanted. And that's ECW the way it should be. Or some promotion like that. So, again, that is why you always will see ECW style like reunions every now and then. So, comment down below, do you agree with me or not on what I said about that? And tell me if any of you have been to Legends Arena or any of these ECW like reunions. And do you know of a promotion out there that could be the next ECW? Tell me what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later.